Yo, yo, yo.
Do the little blue thing is spinning. Spin a little blue thing. Oh my God, I love that picture. There you go.
This right here?
That's my grandson.
Is it for real? Oh, that's dope.
All the pictures are my grandson
That's
for the most
dope.
part. They are. Oh my God. People may have guessed that we have a guest in the studio. Wow, say that 3 times quick and figure out
People
which
may
time
have
you
guessed
said
that we
guest
have
and
a guest.
They guessed
Yeah.
that we have a guest.
Do you love fish sticks?
What?
Because the trick is, you gotta flip it back and forth.
Man.
I mean, I love
Man.
fish sticks. How about you?
Yes.
They're good, right?
They are.
They're tiny though. I never even realized fish had dicks.
If you flip it, if you keep flipping it, you know.
I'm a who's on first guy.
I'm hearing you.
I'm a who's on first guy. That's where it comes from. Oh, that's what we wanted right there. And then we wanted that could go away. Ceezar's in the house.
Peace,
See
peace, peace.
what's going on.
Peace.
What's up?
Ta-da!
We're gonna start off with the first of the 10 questions. Where are you from?
I'm from the north side of Columbus, Ohio. Born and
Okay.
raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about the north side?
I love it. I feel thankful to have been there. It's very regular, very humbling.
Right.
I've learned more about it since I've been gone. That's really it, because you get to have context for
So you're
stuff.
talking like
Yeah.
Tamarack, or where are you talking?
No, I'm talking Somerset, so northeast side. It's actually not too far from here.
Okay.
right,
Somerset is like Agler and Cassidy.
I know it well. I
Yeah.
actually worked at 5th and Cassidy.
Oh, word. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that general area
Yeah.
very well.
Yep.
Well,
yep.
and right down the road from us.
Yeah. It's not far at all. So Agler and Cassidy.
Why is this the first time Ceezar's been here?
Right.
I feel like the moving away from your hometown really like teaches you a lot though.
Perspective.
Like
Fact.
I can relate to what you just said.
Yeah.
Like it when you leave and you come back, you start to see things you didn't see before.
Yes.
Where you're like, ooh, that's something different.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
You're right.
15 years on the road, and I'll tell you what I learned. Man, there's a lot of beautiful places that are a lot like, man, some places have soul, like Chicago, New Orleans,
Mhm.
New York, watching it wake
Right.
up in the morning, facts. But it's good to come home to a cow town.
Telling you.
You know what? You've got everything here. You've got it
Yeah.
all, but it's mellow. Like,
Yeah.
Dude.
for those of you that don't understand, I live in a suburb just outside of the city,
Yep.
and literally I don't notice it, but I have a huge shopping center 10 minutes away.
Yeah, for sure.
I just got the call to go pick up the kid's bike.
For
And it's
sure.
not like, oh, damn.
I'm telling you that drive.
That
Coming,
drove you crazy?
coming off of no.
Oh.
Coming home from New York, the drive. Oh my gosh, I was so happy because I was like, dude, there's nothing going on. There's no cars on the road.
Mhm.
Like, this is amazing. There's no honking going on. Like,
Well,
this is
traditionally
awesome.
dead strippers don't take that route. They're going the other way.
Yo.
Columbus to New York.
Yo.
gosh,
Yo.
what the heck?
He got out. Who's coming back from New York to Columbus?
Me.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? I'm coming
The
back.
reality is, so I had this delivery where I was there first thing in the morning one time.
Yeah.
And no, it was. I wish it had been at a point where we were using. I would have taken 1,000,000 pictures. This was back far enough that the phone. Yeah, I had a cell phone, but yeah, it wasn't doing all that. Or at least not on that level.
I hear you.
But you got to have a peaceful place. You got to have a place where you can be you.
A fact.
You
I
know?
think again, talking about balance, like there are this is a place where you can find balance. At least for me, and maybe it's just because I've been here and I'm so familiar with it. Not to say that you can't find balance in anywhere in particular,
Right.
but this is a place where it's definitely like encourages me to be able to establish balance. So
Right.
Do you think that's part of that's because it's home? I mean, what
Yeah,
are
definitely.
your first memories? What are the first
Exactly.
things? If you go all the way back to the beginning,
yeah,
C-bus kid through and through.
yeah.
Yeah, but what does little Ceezar remember?
What's your first memory?
What's your first memory?
My first memory it was like long before my memory started to be consistent. My
I
first
get you.
memory is like, I think there was like a drastic situation. This probably had to been like at oldest maybe 2 or 3, and I was in the back seat of a car, and I remember like us
Ooh.
driving off quickly. But it was in my neighborhood. It was in my area, so
Right.
still geographically I was orienting myself. My memory started picking up though maybe around like 4, and I used to really want to learn karate. I still want to learn martial arts, but I
Right.
used to just be
I got
obsessed
you.
with it. And my uncle would bring these pieces of like plywood, or it's like real thin wood.
Yeah.
Something
And
for
he
you
would
to
let
break.
me karate
Right?
chop them.
Right?
And so those are like some of my first memories of everybody being around, my family being around, and me being able to get my uncle's attention for long enough
That
to
he had time.
break through these little pieces of wood and just feeling like I was a grand master.
Did you feel like it was hard to get that time?
Not necessarily. Hard is the wrong word. I think
Supportive
I had to be
but busy.
intentional. Yeah, it was, but busy with each other. My family
okay.
is very,
Very
very,
tight-knit.
very close, very tight
Okay.
knit. So it wasn't that it was like people were too busy. It was just that everybody was enjoying each other as well.
Oh,
Like
no,
I was
that's
part
powerful. No,
of the
that's an
space.
energy then.
You
Yeah,
feel
no.
me? Yeah.
I totally do.
Yeah, so
Did-
that's
because,
what it was.
man, have I been in a group of people where I knew I wasn't with anybody, that I
Right.
knew I was dead on alone?
Right,
You
right.
could stay in a room of people and be like, ah.
For sure,
But that
for sure.
that feeling when you're in a room and you're just so comfortable because everybody
dude.
around you is family.
That's what it is.
Energy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, no, I'm telling you, I get a lot of that juice when we're down here.
Yeah.
When we're working
Making
with
music.
artists, or like we'll hit a moment, we were joking about it today, where people be stuck. You pull out the goofiest beat. Shoot, literally go goofy type beat. I
Right,
guarantee there
right.
is one.
Facts.
And you play. You just play for a minute. And then sometimes, man, they go places where you can feel the room on fire. There are moments, and I'll be sitting here working. You know what? I have, other things I do.
I'm hearing you.
I make the pretty pictures.
Right, I'm hearing you.
I'm in charge of pictures and merchandise. Not making or receiving any money. I actually don't want any money, but
Right.
you can go buy stuff from Zazzle that has cool stuff that says like Studio 580 today.
Right,
Shameless plug.
Word.
Shameless plug.
Come on.
Shameless
As
plug.
You should.
But say what I was saying.
What you were saying is it's a crazy feeling when everybody is in here being themselves. It's almost like everybody feels comfortable just
part.
existing.
Sometimes you'll get a chorus even where
Yeah.
they're freestyling on a beat, but they've come up with a hook and now they're all singing it together.
A fact.
And you're like, you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's palpable.
It's energy.
And the wild thing about doing this show we're doing now, this 10 questions that we flopped into, it was not. There was a show that had 10 questions from when I was a kid that I liked, and he always referenced that he'd gone to all of these French philosophers to figure out how to ask people the right questions and yada bullshit. Well, I have a notebook where all of that crap is written down because I said I'll go down that rabbit hole. And this is 3 months ago. There was no talk of a story show. There was no. We were doing Where's the Line 5 days a week.
Yeah.
This was not pertinent to anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to figure out a way to open people up. Not open. It's not what I mean. To show the connection between people.
That's good.
To discover who someone really was, separate from accomplishments, or what did you do, or what are you trying to do.
Yeah, that's good.
And that we're as short as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Almost Rorschach style questions, so that you've got to look at the ink blots and go, okay, that means this to me.
Each of these questions has no
That's
more than
very
5
good.
words.
That's very good.
Yeah, all the questions are under 5 words.
Yeah, pretty much.
I do. You know what? Sometimes, for those of you that
got it.
don't know the Bees for Basement, there's Ben Hayes. I love you, bud. Thank you. I'll see you in a bit. What did I say?
Dope.
Well, how do you work?
There you go.
In general,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
What does that mean to you?
Right.
what does that mean?
See, this is
What
why I
that mean
give
to you?
That preamble is all about
Yeah.
this question and the
That's
ones
good.
to come.
That's good. I work definitely without a doubt. I work with like a sense of urgency. I don't enjoy working in general, so
Right.
I'm not just going to work.
How do you what
without-
defines something as work?
Work is something that I need to do in order to help like a larger thing that I'm connected to.
But not
So-
connected to something you. It's not something you want to do. It's something you have to do.
Not necessarily. Sometimes you
Okay.
want to do the things
Right.
that you have to do, and that's fine. Like that maybe comes after some reflection. Sometimes you're in agreement, but like when I think about work specifically, it's usually things that I feel like I have to do, which is more important than the things that I want to do.
Right, I got you.
Yeah,
right,
you
in
know,
the
like,
grand scheme of things.
Well, and the
Yeah.
thing that fuels
Yeah.
the fire, I mean, the reality is in our system,
You know what I'm saying?
Dollar,
You
dollar,
fulfill-
dollar.
Exactly. But I work with like a sense of urgency because I hate the idea of like letting someone or something down. So when I have a responsibility and I'm working, it's
Right.
very important to me that like I'm being diligent and I'm trying my best to do my part. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I have this thing
So-
that I say. It's funny. It was from like 2013, It was a while back, but thank God for Facebook. I posted it.
Where you can go find it.
Right? Oh, absolutely.
Right.
That, dude, my brain's going hard.
Your brain's going. It's okay.
It happens.
What were we
Shoot.
saying? Don't jump to the next question.
So you're basically
Nah.
it was something to do with work, like or
Yeah.
responsibility, or yeah. And you were
That
saying,
be one of the faithful. And by that, I don't mean part of a religious organization. I mean somebody people can put their faith in.
correct.
That your word is the only thing you have the ability to put value on. You alone.
That's correct.
You define it, you carry it, no matter what anybody does to it. Your word is your word.
So if you
And
say you're gonna work on something, then you
That
better
one
work
of
on
the
it.
greatest ways you
Right.
can give service to all humanity, all living things, the universe, is be one less thing for everybody else to fucking worry about.
Yeah, serious.
You know what? Caesar said he had it.
Yeah,
I know Caesar well enough that if for some reason it starts to go bad, he'll call.
yeah,
That I know we're legit.
Right.
yeah.
But
Right.
the carrying around the fact you got people in your lives, you know who I'm talking about. It don't matter. It's not about any individual. You got people. You know the hardest part is when stuff comes out of their mouth. You know,
Can't trust it. Yeah.
get that salt out hard
I hear
because
you.
that shit ain't you. But maybe,
Maybe.
how do you react? I've come to the conclusion I react like everybody's telling me the truth. I
Yeah.
know what's going on. I pay attention.
Yeah,
But if you come to me suffering or, in pain, whether it's that you are needing that to be perceived because you're suffering inside, or whether that's because you truly have a medical need, doesn't.
yeah,
So I found a loophole. It's not as good as that Catholic schoolgirl thing. The poop hole loophole is
I
good,
hear
but
you.
this is more of a, you can kind of go, oh, fellow human being.
yeah,
I see how fucked up you are.
yeah. That's it. Yeah, facts. And I'm realizing that things actually don't have to be as complicated as we want them to be. Everything doesn't have to be analyzed. Everything doesn't have to be qualified. And for some reason, I think it's just like this paradigm that we're in.
Mhm.
We've been taught that like the more you can define something, the more control you have over it, and now you're a better person. Like
Right.
this means this. This person wants this. Let me quantify that. Does it meet my standard for being able to be generous? I'm good on all that. If I'm able to help,
Right.
I'm
gonna
there.
likely
Want help.
And I'm gonna help wholeheartedly
That's
because
it.
I want to be there.
That's it. And it doesn't. It's not a big like moral thing. It's not like part of my philosophy. It's not that. I exist here. You exist here. If I'm able to help, I'm gonna do that because I think that will be beneficial. It's the right thing to do and keep it
Right.
moving. Like there are enough other things that will occupy my mind and,
right.
Right.
and my space. Life every day, has a challenge of its own. Each day is hard enough on its own. So,
Right.
Yeah. For sure.
My point of view is always it was school all along.
You feel me?
Shoot, just because I have to say it every episode. You know what? If there are speed bumps in your life is trying to tell you to slow down. Chances are you're moving into a school zone. You need to get out pen and paper.
That's really good. That's
gotta
really
learn
good.
something.
That's really good.
Because it's just,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
and I don't know if everybody in the world would get my speed bump reference.
No, I'm hearing you.
But in my head, we all know that you get the speed bump, and then you see the sign
Yep.
says
It's
go
a school
slower,
zone. Yeah. I'm hearing you.
yeah.
That's
Definitely,
good. That's
man.
very
I love
good.
that
That's
stuff.
very, very good metaphor.
Oh, Madisms. I have
telling
a
you.
friend that'll go. Man,
You can use that
I'm
too.
low on Madisms.
Thank
if you want.
Yeah, everything I ever said was stolen, so steal away.
Come on.
I don't even want money for this part.
Come on.
I just want the studio to go forever.
Love.
I want. This is my work, my play, my prayer. This is my. This does it all when it's doing it right.
Speaking of work, play, pray.
Come on.
Next
play?
question is, how do you play?
Play and pray are not too far from me. But I play by relaxing, watching
time.
nothing on TV or painting. Play for me is anything that I care about doing, anything that I really want to do, that I don't care how it turns out.
Yeah.
That's like even when I'm going out, when I'm chilling with my friends, like we're outside, like it's lit. I don't have a goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I don't have a goal. I don't have an intended outcome. I'm not
You
measuring
allowed
this.
yourself
Right.
to reside in the place and let it happen.
You get what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
my play. Like that's
Because
that's what I
fantasizing
really
is
enjoy.
catastrophizing with
just
extra
chilling.
steps.
I swear that's like I relate to that so hard. Mine is like I'll sit down and make a beat and not care about where the beat is going.
Yeah.
I don't care about who's finna rap on it or none of that.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting down to make what sounds good
Come
to
on.
me.
Come
And
on.
it turns into like, oh snap, I'm just playing around.
Yeah.
You know, like
yes.
it's yeah.
That's what it.
That's what life is supposed
It's
to
so
be.
funny. I
Bro.
so relate to it on the writer level.
Mm.
Because the weird thing for me is, if I sit over here, if I beat the microphone up and hit everybody in the head, if I sit over here and write, like I'm working on a book currently, Breakfast
Nice.
Epiphanies.
Heard
It's
you.
about epiphanies.
That's fire.
Yeah, well,
I'm
because
following.
Holly Golightly was all about, she didn't fit into the system. She had a different way of seeing it. So I didn't know that when I came up with it. I went and had to go do the research. And like, oh.
See how it fits though.
See, it just works like
I'm
that.
telling you.
That it's an amazing set of things going on, including me losing my brain
Well, okay.
very quickly today.
Right.
But you gotta exist in it.
You do.
Yeah.
You have to
That's it.
find that the most powerful thing. We were giving advice to somebody. I forget who it was we were talking about, but we were talking about the idea that, man, if you have to find a way to create a space where you can take all your masks off. Because that's the problem with it. We're all walking around trying to prove something, so
course.
none of us are talking about the fact inside we're dealing with the same shit,
Bruh.
each and every one of us. And you're like, play is so important. Setting it down, embracing the pause. There's got to be a moment for the pieces to fall into place.
I'm telling you.
You know, you can't just sit there and I'm going to jam this puzzle in. It don't work that way.
It's gonna work.
But I'm telling you, I look back now,
Make it work.
You feel me?
and the epiphany last week was, wait a minute, if it works that way,
You feel me?
the only problem with forward is I'm looking at it from the wrong direction. I'm just not there yet. It'll look that way from over there. Why the
Yeah.
fuck am I worried?
Come on.
You got to still do. I don't get me wrong.
Right.
You still got to row your boat. I ain't
Yeah,
like, and then
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
coast.
Yeah,
no,
no.
but that realization that, you know, if you're in, and I get into the Eightfold Path thing. I'm not I don't belong to any. I wouldn't ever want to limit my wisdom by claiming that one book has all of it.
Right, I hear you.
GPS just don't work that way.
I hear you.
Where you at to get there? That's everybody's different.
It's a fact.
I mean, the only reason I glom onto Buddha is 84,000. He admits it. He says, no, man, everybody different path. Everybody. 84,000 was a big number back then. He was very,
Facts.
yeah. But
Facts.
so,
I love that.
how do you pray?
Not with my eyes closed always, but in silence. And even if not like external silence, like internal silence. Like today,
Right.
I was driving on my way to work, and I wanted to say a prayer because I needed to say a prayer before I like got to being busy in the
Right.
tangible world. But I had been listening to a podcast, so I just put the podcast off in my car, and then I had a silent moment, and then I got to say my prayer out loud.
Right.
Sometimes I'll pray in my mind. Prayer definitely for me is always like conversational though. Like I know
Okay.
people talk about like different forms of meditation, different forms of prayer, being in
absolutely.
like a flow state. It's
Right.
like prayer, but prayer for me is very like intentional. I'm expressing myself, and again, even if not verbally, I'm thinking the words.
You're putting
yeah,
you're putting it into
putting that
process,
in.
which
Yeah,
I think
I'm
is
communicating
that's
my message.
that's
in
one of the
my
most
mind.
powerful,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
parts of prayer or meditation. I think that even when you get lost in people that, well, but I pray every night for all of this. Okay, so but mantras work, so that
Correct.
fits.
Correct.
And you know what? Oh, so every night you're ending thankful and telling people it's that no matter every perspective I've found, from guys that had me lay my head against their giant drum and play heartbeats to people that were talking to us the other day about fairies. Like prairies,
I
but more
found that-
magical.
I'm hearing you.
I found that
there.
that the practice is more important than the like what specific
Than what the practice
what
is.
specific it is. Yeah, it's all about making sure you're intentional about, okay, I need to get these stresses off my head. I need to put them out into the universe and hope that they come back to me and it all fits. You know?
A tangible way that makes it, well, and so people will talk about different faiths, and I'll be like, okay, wait a minute. Top meditation has to be people 5 times a day to Mecca. I'm sorry, they get the prize. Everyone, you could. I'm like, no, come on. If you can respect what everybody is doing, is experiencing the same thing and describing it differently. Oh, the Catholic monks, the ones that disappeared and made beer.
No matter which way,
there were no children monks. There weren't any there. So at least you know what I mean. It doesn't matter the where. I can see that spirit and that energy, and it's hard to not go.
It's no matter which way you add it up, it all seems to have the same value.
Yeah.
Somehow it seems to work that way.
My big epiphany was if you threw it all in a colander and shook it the hell out.
Right.
The pieces the overwhelming pieces that overlap. Same message.
For sure.
Hey, be good to each other. Oh. First message in all of them.
For sure.
Be good to each other.
For sure. For sure.
I think that's the God part. I think when you start drawing lines and going that guy versus that guy, I'm a dad. I couldn't do it's Sophie's choice. Really, you've got if that's your outlook is a, traditional Judeo-Christian, father figure even, I still go, wait a minute, I'm a dad. I can't buy into your
that's good. That's good.
Because people fire and brimstone, I'm like,
I don't know.
If I was trying to get my kids to a party, description we're getting, I don't know anything what happens after. I don't got a clue, or before for that matter. But it kind of makes sense to go, wait a minute. So Peter and Paul believed in a very mean and harsh God, and I reread the Christ bit, and he never brings that up.
Come on.
It's not, but man, I love the Christ bit.
For sure. Yeah, see, that's the thing, and it kind of goes back to like the same mentality that it is when I was talking about like the play. Yeah. I don't have any desired outcome. I'm not worried about like what the result will be, because
I'm not attached.
You feel me?
I feel you.
When
I feel you.
Talking about like I forgot what you were talking about. It'll come back.
Me
but
too.
Essentially, what I'm fact, what I'm getting at. Oh, you were talking about the fact that we all wear masks, right?
Yeah.
And that's not exactly. But that's not always something that I want to condemn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we just exist. It's part of our life. But and there's a space for performance. There's a space for saying, I want to communicate this part of myself.
Yeah.
Because I really care about you, or because I want you to feel comfortable.
Right.
But obviously, the removal of the mask is like the ultimate thing. We also wear masks because we want to convince. And so I realize, specifically when it comes to spirituality, specifically when it comes to how I connect with God, the thing that's been able to like allow me to really get to myself is not convincing anybody else.
Oh, absolutely.
Why I feel how I feel, or even not even feeling like I have to explain, because you'll realize in a lot of conversations people are not connecting, and that's okay.
That's fine.
You get what I'm saying? It makes a huge. I don't even have energy allocated to rationalizing how I feel, because again, I think that goes back. That's all.
Embrace the I don't know.
Precisely.
I
know, but I don't know why. Or I don't know
why I know.
I can't explain, but I know.
My current one is go into each day like you were born this morning, and you're gonna die tonight. You've never been here before, ever.
That's word.
No one has ever been where you are before. No one with your perspective has stood in the place you are ever in existence. And in the time I've talked, another one of those moments has disappeared.
Wow, that's good.
So, that if my eyes are open, we joke about my AK, Ice Cube, in a bad day. I didn't have to use my AK.
For sure.
Ambient knowledge, have your AK out 24/7, be catching it.
Wow, that's fire.
That my fish teaches me stuff.
Of course.
Obviously, Ross.
Of course.
Ceezar, I try to meet the world like every aspect of it is a revered teacher.
That's
a guru.
Very good. Yeah, most definite.
Because you never know where it's going to come from. The dew on a flower?
Come on.
I was stuck on... Okay, so I got hawked on the whole animal versus people thing.
I hear you.
And, enlightenment, yeah.
Right.
So that was sticking in my cross. So all living things, man. All living things. Dew on a flower, brother. Ever learn anything from that? Rain?
Yeah.
How about the way the earth moves, or
Correct.
lightning, or
Correct.
trees, wind through the trees?
Correct.
Where does it stop being universe and stop being teacher?
Come on.
Well, not at me, because we're all universe.
Nah, yeah.
And so, but we're all student. We have some friends, Rick and Janelle. I'm hoping to get Janelle on for a show about epiphanies, where they see us as the tactileness of the universe. So they'll joke on a bad day. You stare up at the universe and go, so did you feel that? You good with that? Because the universe wants to feel it all. Good, bad, or indifferent, all of the experience. And so the idea that on a day you're pissed off,
That's really good.
you let it go like, so did you?
Right. You felt you're gonna.
So did you get that?
Yeah.
So you know, like it's like
Yeah.
straight up, like the universe is just going, I haven't felt nothing like that before. Let me screw you over today. It's your turn.
Facts.
It's
Facts.
your turn.
Facts.
That's
Because
funny.
it's connected. It's deeper than connected. Like it's one. Yeah.
So
yeah.
the one I always ask Ross is, at what point do the cells in your body stop being Ross? At what point do the pieces of the universe stop being universe?
Right.
If one micro to macro,
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
there's a lot. So I'm real sciencey about my spirituality.
That's interesting.
I'm really I want to test it and play with it and poke at it and the whole nine.
Yeah.
So then, because my head just does that. It's
Yeah.
not that I don't. Trust me.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
But it's all like Legos in my head that stack different. And so the ideas are, and then all of a sudden you'll see one. The visual is nice, but it doesn't really do that part. I wish it did. I know. I wish it clicked like Legos.
Facts. Tetris.
How do you?
What do you love?
What do you love?
Oh, I love God. I strive to love God. That's the most important thing for me. But I love my family very, 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 very much.
That's
I love
meaningful.
macaroni and cheese. Like my mom makes extremely delicious.
I love it.
And now I know how to
Solid
make it
answer.
as well.
Oof. We're gonna have
Just
some
baked
mac and cheese for the next fire. I'm ready.
Nah, serious. That I love that
Bro.
a lot. I love to paint, and I love to be quiet, and I love to be outside, and I love the ocean. I have more reverence for the ocean. It's
I
like
love the power of the waves.
Yeah, it's like a reverent love. It's
I
not
love-
like a romantic love.
Yeah.
I love a November
It's like a
ocean.
ooh.
For
Yeah.
some reason, I love an ocean. I know I'm not getting into it, but
Word.
it's got that steel blue
Serious.
color, and you can see the clouds all over it, and it just,
Yeah,
you're so damn little.
come on.
Your big ass ego coming up the ocean
Come
like
on.
the ocean looking at you like.
Facts. Facts.
Like, what is he gonna do?
That was my big epiphany.
Right.
At 50, it was like, I walked in to go have a big old fight with God. You know, there might have been some amateur pharmacology
I'm
involved.
hearing you.
And you know what? Walked out 2 minutes later laughing my ass off.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Really. Universe was fighting. God had time.
Come on.
Do you know how many Friday night football games God has to decide? And you think he has time for my silliness?
Come on. Come on.
So,
There's
the-
other stuff going
the
on.
universe is universin.
Facts. Always.
And everything had a purpose. That for 25 years, that fight I was having was what gave me this voice.
Come on.
Is what finally gave me enough. 25 years I wrote down. I'd write over and over again about my fight. Wouldn't let nobody see it. My daughter knew. I felt that I was something I was supposed to do, and I'd write about how, you know, if you turn away from something you know you're supposed to do, you'll never fully realize. You know that I would write about it regularly. And that night was one of the happiest night in the world. It all made sense.
Word.
It was like, oh,
Right.
path of the sledgehammer.
Right.
Take it hard in the face until eventually you realize you can use sledgehammers for other things. It's
I'm
really,
hearing you. I'm hearing
it's really
you.
stupid to hit your head
I'm
with
hearing
them.
you. I'm hearing
You know, it's like the internet. The internet's that sledgehammer too.
Yeah.
We are finally at a moment in history where we are literally connected with the world.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, oh my gosh, it's evil. The tool is not evil. That's not how tools work.
That part.
You're being a tool if you try to imply that
part.
tools have the ability to decide
That part.
anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I have my fingers on every continent but Antarctica.
Mm.
Real to God people that we've connected with, that we feel close to.
That's really
You know,
dope.
musicians in Africa, Europe. We need an Australian. We need some Russians. But anyways,
Yeah.
that you know what? It's just evolved this way. And what hit me was a movie named Surfer Dude, called Surfer Dude. Matthew McConaughey's in it. Mm-hmm. Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
Willie Nelson.
Oh, word.
If you see where this is going, there will be marijuana involved.
Correct.
Which he gives up.
Okay.
In pursuit
of the wave.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be in line and on time when the wave comes.
So the whole movie, he's just sitting there waiting for this wave.
The whole movie is about him waiting on the wave.
Wow.
And it's funny, and it goes a totally. It's about pro surfers who they're trying to convince to make VR games.
Word.
I don't think I actually paid attention the first time.
I'm tapping in.
We
gotta watch it.
About it. You gotta watch for it.
What?
The other thing is, what was it? They eat and they fertilize. The goats.
Word.
Goats. Willie Nelson has a giant herd of goats.
Okay.
If I'm having trouble convincing you, Willie Nelson with a herd of goats.
For sure.
Number of beautiful ladies.
Word.
But hidden in there, and that's what I love about movies. Bill Murray hits me the same way. You're going, oh. So part of my journals, part of the things that got me out of my depression was watching movies. Taking note. Because one day I realized every day was a good day. The only thing that defined it for me was whether or not I put the effort into noticing it.
Hey, what you just said right there, that statement right there, that's it. That's the statement. That's the statement. That's it. That's it.
But it makes me wonder.
You know what they say about watching movies and stuff like that?
What's up?
It apparently gives you the same it gives you the same like brain
as hanging out with friends.
Fires as hanging out with friends.
That literally if you're depressed, actually the best way to do it is
pick shows that you grew up with.
That you grew up with.
Some show that you grew up with.
That was in a place you always felt safe.
Yeah.
Now, here's the fun part. You'll release all of the hormones related to visiting good friends without having to listen to their bullshit or feed them.
Word.
Yeah.
And so, people are like, oh, I just sat. No, there's meaningful ways to do that.
Word.
How many times we go through? We have a bunch of them.
Yeah, we got a bunch of sitcoms.
Because that's always been my end of the day was to lose myself in. Okay, for the longest it was Spin City. I grew up with Michael J. Fox.
Okay, I hear you.
You know what? I wasn't as big a fan of Family Ties, but I remember that, and he was in Columbus. That was where that was supposed to be. That his dad worked at WOSU, but then he goes on and does Spin City, where he's in New York, and that's my hanging out with my buddy. That you can pull it. That you just let yourself for a while, and now there's a bunch of other ones like David Spade in any sitcom. Trust me.
Okay.
I like stuff that's witty.
Yeah.
I'm big on tight.
Yep.
It's got to be.
Totally
I love shows that are like this.
I hear that.
And like if you watch them again, you're like, holy shit, they did that in the
Word. I'm taking that for sure.
I've got a list.
A word.
What do you fear?
What do you fear? Matt's list.
Judgment for sure. Worse than judgment, being misunderstood. If I was being judged accurately, I think I could live with that. I think I'm still afraid of it because there are parts of myself that I would be afraid to have like exposed and acknowledged in a public space. Like Christians really like this, or we don't like, and it could be true. And so I fear that to a degree. But if it's accurate, then it's like, all right. I really fear being.
If I can own it, it's a lesson as opposed to.
I mean, if it's true, it's true. It's the truth is the truth.
Right. It's that I don't want to be misunderstood.
That's one thing that I fear.
This is what
it hurts.
A show about not putting on a show.
Yeah.
That communicate it. Like we had a young lady that the interview turned a little bit, loved it. Was it rough at the end? Did we feel it?
Right.
Yeah, but that wasn't why I was in that space with her, so I was okay with it.
I hear you.
You know, that I knew that whether it was me or something she brought, that we could figure that out later.
I hear you.
Cool lady.
Yeah.
But you don't got to carry it all the time.
Yeah.
You don't got to carry everybody else's. Like, if you're judging me and it ain't true, now, if you want to talk about what I do, I'll own everything I do.
Okay, word.
I'll go back through stuff that people are like, well, there's no way you're watch me talk about stuff that's hard. I'm working on getting 2 of my daughters to come in
I will say,
To do the deed.
being worried about judgment keeps you humble. Because
Mhm.
the more and more I would reject other people's judgment, the more and more I felt like I was getting more like vapid and almost like
You feel me?
like
You
I was feeling
dissociate.
feeling like
I don't.
I
want
was
that.
completely disassociated with the world, and it
Yeah.
felt like I didn't want to listen to nobody about nothing.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
that's not who we are.
It's not living.
So again,
Yeah.
it's denial because you can condition yourself to dissociate,
to hide.
but you feel the pain and you feel the weirdness
Yeah.
and
It
you
builds.
feels dark because that is actually not the nature of this existence.
Yeah,
So the tough part is again.
staying here and
Yeah.
staying
I fear
with that
judgment and being
Yeah.
misunderstood because I really care about y'all and I really love y'all very much
Right.
and I want to connect with y'all as my actual self. So I'm
Right.
afraid that you won't. I'm afraid that you won't
If-
see that, and then we won't be able to really connect like that. We won't really be able to have a close connection. So I'm afraid of those things. But the root of that fear is actually love. So
Well, absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying?
I feel what you're
Acceptance.
saying.
I can
yeah.
acknowledge the fear
Well-
and hope to get rid of it.
Right.
My theory
Yeah.
is that's the cause of everything humanity is doing with. Everything we're fighting with is symptomatic
Right.
of the fact that once we start doing the part where we pick and choose what comes out, we are devaluing pieces of ourselves.
That's a fact.
When we devalue ourselves, what we do is then project a lower value on the humanity around us.
Hey,
I
that's-
tell you what.
If in addition, the only way we measure success is by how much we can take from each other,
Mhm.
globally, that's the system.
I'm hearing you.
Doesn't matter. Don't. Everybody wants to fight about flavor. Fuck
I'm
you
hearing
on flavor.
I'm hearing you.
I've noticed that in those communist countries, the people with the most are still the people at the top.
Yeah, it's facts. It's
So that
facts.
I will
if
say
we can start a discourse, we can put the kids out of business.
Facts.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm telling you, there's some episodes where like literally fear is like I can feel it, like I'm trapped in it. Like, and being present in the conversation is so difficult, but it's at the same time, if you're present, if you're trying, if you're being active with it,
Absolutely.
you can get back into it. You
get
can
what I'm
you can
saying?
get over that. You like there's somewhere I feel like I got over it, and somewhere I'm like, he's stuck.
Yeah.
I could tell. I can look
Yeah.
at his face and see he's stuck.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just gotta get out your own head. You gotta think, okay, all the stuff I'm thinking is in my head.
Correct.
Everything I'm thinking right
Truth.
now is in my head. Whether or not it's
It
true,
was you all the way
it's
down.
all in my
Yeah,
head.
it's a fact.
So I gotta chill. I
Yeah.
gotta calm down. I gotta get out of it. You know?
Yeah, one of my
Mm.
biggest, the biggest thing that I want to do in general with myself and just anybody that I interact with in any space that I'm in is like relieve the tension. Because again,
Yeah.
every day has enough troubles of its own. Like
Right.
the fear itself is hard enough to deal with.
Right.
But then to add a stigma on
To
top
add
of
on
having
top of it.
fear
Yeah.
and the fact that you feel ashamed for fearing something, now I want to withdraw or
I
put on
understand
another
that.
mask to
I
make it
understand.
look
Everybody
like I
medicates
don't fear.
somehow, don't they?
That's all extra stuff
Mhm.
that makes the dealing with the fear, which is already mad difficult, a zillion times
I say
harder.
the best thing you
Fear's
could
the
do is
mind killer.
acknowledge it.
Man,
The best
Straight
thing
up.
you can do is acknowledge it, and once you acknowledge
for
it,
sure.
it feels like some of that pressure is gone
It is.
because
It's cathartic.
you've talked
For
about it.
sure, for
Fight
sure.
your demons
know?
to tea is what
I'm
my mom
telling you,
says.
keeping
You know what?
anything in
Come straight to them.
facts, facts, because the power in like the fear and any like of the corrosive things, the power that it has is being able to pull you away,
Pull you
from-
away from the moment.
Yeah, or from
And-
again like acknowledging. So if we acknowledge something out with all three of us right here,
Right.
so much of the power is gone because it can't draw me back into
Whoa.
a shadow, or it can't try to convince me that something untrue is actually true. The more I bounce something off the wall, sonar type vibes, the more frequencies that are
Yeah,
hitting,
the more vibes
the
you put
clearer
out,
picture I get
yeah.
of what it actually is. But if
The more you
fear
pay
can
attention
pull you
to
over
it, and
here,
if you don't pay it right,
you feel me?
If you get pulled over here, you're just over here.
If you
Right.
get pulled over
You're
here,
just
fear
reacting.
can tell you
Yeah.
there's
anything
no
is true.
longer- Right.
Fear can say, if you do this one thing, the whole world will, and you can get convinced by delusion. But again, the more people I bring it to, the
Right.
more public spaces, the more
Right.
points of exposure,
Absolutely.
the more accurate the picture gets, and we realize that what fear was trying to sell is not it really is not that accurate.
Is it time for the three mice?
So
The
yeah,
three
It sounds
mice?
remarkably
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
time for the
I
three
think it's
mice.
time
Alright,
for the
let's
three
do it.
Because I
mice.
think, okay, You ever heard the African proverb about 3 mice?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's not like the European one where the mice get their tails cut off by the
Word.
Okay.
Word.
The African one is about 3 blind mice.
Mm-hmm.
They're out doing blind mice things one day, as blind mice do, I guess, on the basis of the number of stories about blind
Facts.
mice. And one, they come across a large object, and one goes,
Tree trunk.
tree trunk, oh my god, this is the biggest. And then
one goes snake, and then another one goes
I think it's lion.
lion's tail
Okay.
Right.
or something.
Now here's the thing. All of those perspectives are equally true
Right.
and exist in the same universe.
Facts.
None of them separately allow you to see the elephant in the room.
They're all touching an elephant
That's good.
When
at
I
different
learned
points.
that I couldn't trust my perspective,
That's good.
but that I could see some pieces in how they worked,
That's a bar.
all I wanted to see was through everybody else's eyes.
Yeah, most definitely.
Musicians and artists, like artists do a thing. They already bring it to me. Whether it's, I like I said, even TV, like it all is giving me some piece of someone's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
They are telling a story the way they see it. Even if oh, okay, wow. And when I look at stuff that way, all of a sudden you're like, oh. And the amount of information, and this process, doing this 10 questions thing, has literally changed me.
That's love. I believe it.
This connection, this
Yeah,
energy
I'm
you're
hearing
feeling,
you. I'm hearing you.
I had with a guy in Nigeria.
Word.
How does that work?
We know how it works, though.
Well, no. I mean, I could feel literally the connection.
That's it. And again, that's the thing where they've really tried to convince us to think and to analyze more than we feel. The feeling is it.
The
It
feeling
actually
is all
doesn't
you
matter
need.
how it works, because the not knowing, to your point,
Exactly.
is the key. We can't control it. We've never been in control.
Right.
To assume control is to
we
reduce
were
it.
Always connected and in
Come
the
on.
same universe.
Come on.
Okay, if you look at a machine, we're part of this machine.
Come on.
Things are affected by us. Things affect us.
Part.
It's
I like what you said.
a
You
closed
said-
system.
It's a closed system. That's a fact.
You just said to assume control is to reduce it. I really like that.
Yes.
That because you're limiting the amount of control you have by saying that you have control.
The greatest superpower of being crazy is
That's-
you've already had to accept you're not in control.
Sometimes it just be crazy, you know.
Which
Sometimes,
makes me wonder about all those guys that think they're Jesus. I'm wondering if they've just been through so much crap that they figured a ton of stuff out and they're like, no, wait a minute, I need you to listen.
I'm telling you, that's another. I think about that a lot.
How would he get popped? How would that go?
Yeah.
how would Jesus exist
So
today?
a guy shows up in some sandals,
Mm-hmm.
looking kind of hippie,
Mm.
with his bros,
Right.
all out of work,
Right.
with a message. He gets into fight at the local temple, church, or whatever.
I'm hearing you.
Beats him up for taking the cash. Oh, I don't think we're ever going to see it on the news and he's in jail. Right? Isn't that where the money changers
Yeah, I think
scene
that's
goes?
where it
Yeah,
stops.
I'm hearing you.
You know, he never makes it past the money changers.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's
So
either
how would it
doing
look
time
today?
in prison or
Yeah.
for crazy.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I think it would play out. It would play out pretty similar to how it played out before. And the fact that that person, you know, however that energy manifested,
Right.
it would be met with like a lot of like hate, because again, something pure draws out all the bad things. It's like
Well,
the antidote.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like
How-
it's going to draw.
How
out
does
all the-
everybody maintain their power if somebody goes, we should all get along?
Precisely.
Which line we've ever created didn't define something as greater or lesser
Yeah, a
or
fact.
mine or yours?
A fact.
We
A
be
fact.
friends.
A fact.
Why can't we be friends?
But also, I want to also say that like I love that one of the biggest messages from Jesus is like, as I depart from you, I leave you peace. Like that's the greatest gift I can leave you.
Right.
And I leave you the Holy Spirit. The concept of the fact that
Right.
without this physical form that you've grown to be used to,
Right.
you will have the presence that you felt and were drawn to. And I feel like
The
that's
energy is still
critical.
present.
You get what I'm
The-
saying?
I-
So I think Jesus, however, again, like however you can like rationalize
Right.
the energy and the consciousness and the spirit
However it works in your head.
is present.
Astrophysics to
It's
Zoroastrianism, we're
Yeah.
trying to describe
yeah,
the same thing and then fighting over the verbiage.
So do you get what I'm saying about how the intention to describe, the intention to
fall
convince?
short. I was writing about that earlier.
You know what I'm saying? You can't.
You don't know anything until the words fall away.
You can't. Facts. Communicating with words is one of the lower forms.
If I call you Chris or Ceezar,
Is it
or
really?
I call him
Yes.
Ross, does that define you?
Right.
Can I get 4 letters that tells me about these amazing people?
You feel me?
It's not rational.
Right.
But then you'll try to lash onto a thought, like somehow words are conveying it to its fullest, and then fight over the fact that you couldn't even find the right words.
Come on.
I've had songs that just touched me in a way that I was like, what?
Mm.
I was just really confused because they just put into words, and not even words. They didn't just use the words. They somehow conveyed an idea that I can't quite explain, that I relate
Zach
to.
today. I'm telling you, Zach today.
Yeah.
His production. So we had Zach G on earlier.
Word.
And we were so a lot of times after 10 questions we do like a music show. So we were playing his music.
Word.
He'll talk to the artist,
Mm.
and I have no friggin' clue.
Mm-hmm.
So that I sit here cold,
Mm-hmm.
and they just today. Oh my
Yeah.
God, gave me some I got him convinced he needs a guitar.
Mm.
It's kind of that 80s new wave vibe.
I hear that.
I was like, wow.
Just play that on stage looking
Word.
cool.
Wow, that his production value is amazing. But it's amazing what's going on because then you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And a great song, yeah, you feel it. Go put on Dark Side of the Moon again and try not to feel nothing.
Facts.
Get to the part where it's 10 years left behind and you realize you didn't get anywhere. And if you didn't feel that, you ain't working it.
Facts.
You know that, man, my first philosophers, Pink Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
Yoda.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you,
I'm a 70s kid, man.
however it arrives to
Floyd,
you,
yeah.
yeah, it'll make its way.
I like that.
For sure, it'll make its way.
Puppies chasing bees.
What do you know?
Oh,
Sorry. Oh,
what do
sorry.
you know?
I know that the best is ahead. I know that for sure. The best is ahead.
Especially if it's 2 girls.
This guy. I know that the best is ahead, man.
It's a feeling of power. It's overwhelming.
I hear that.
Get it. I get it.
I hear you.
You know what? You got to. Yeah, you got to believe in next. I like to think. One of the possibilities is tomorrow might be better. You got to accept it. That's one of the possibilities. It's there. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm talking about a best as well. That's not like individually determined.
Right.
Like the best, not your best or your favorite.
Ooh, I
or
like
the
that.
most preferable, like the best. It's like I could have also said I know that God is present. It's that massive of a statement. Like
No, I'm with you.
the best is ahead. Again, it goes to that point of like us not knowing. You might not know.
You
or
might not
even,
get it.
You feel me? You might not enjoy it. It might not be
You
your
feel
turn
me?
this time to enjoy it. Maybe next
Oof.
time.
See how you get a show
Yeah,
called Oof?
you feel me?
Yeah.
Because we need more of that.
I'm telling you.
Everybody runs around saying namaste.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's namastained. The deep scars and wounds on my soul. See the deep scars and wounds
That's
on
good.
yours.
That's good.
And honors the struggle.
That's
because
very
it's
good.
universal.
Absolutely.
You try and put a name to it or define it or measure it. You know what? Then it goes wrong. But
as soon as you cut it up, you start to realize there's no point in cutting it up.
Brad and Angelina, prettiest people in the world. How'd that go?
Right. Facts.
Doesn't fix it, huh?
Facts.
Bill and friggin' Melinda. We're talking
Facts.
billionaires, man.
Facts. I'm hearing
Couldn't
you.
fix it, right?
I'm telling you.
You're dreaming for the wrong shit.
I'm
You're
telling
dreaming
you.
of what instead of who.
Come on.
If we could redirect our thought on instead of how do we train people for work, is how do we figure out who people are?
That part.
Because,
oh
man, our new ways of education allow us the capability of let them go as fast as they can in whatever they're good at.
That's real.
The current system ends up with, well, but I was slow here, so I got held back.
Yep.
Well, but I was good over here, but now I don't even care.
Come on.
Or you know what? I was so fast they put me up here, but I'm it can screw you up. But modern education, they give them all tablets anyways.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
all sitting on a laptop. Excuse me. Chrome's trying to get sold, so they're handing them out like candy.
I hear you.
That's how Apple got started. But anyways, use it. So you have proctors in math, English, and or science, or because the kids can all be there. There's their regular teacher like they've got right now, but you add additional teaching staff that globally,
Yeah.
or on whatever level you can.
Plus, I think we should teach kids that it's okay not to know.
That's the most powerful thing in the world.
That's really like, especially because if you don't know something, that just means you got more to learn.
You know, the funniest part is that you're not going to know regardless. That's the funniest thing. So the reality is that you're not going to know.
The first thing,
to be able to allow somebody to say it's okay, not, it doesn't matter whether it's okay or not. It doesn't matter if you're stressed about it or excited about it.
Just let it go.
You don't know.
Right.
Feeling like it's okay to not know or feeling like it's not okay to not know never changes the fact that you don't know.
Yeah.
But of course, it has to be okay to not know.
Before.
You get me? It has to be okay
Crazy
to not know.
Crazy shit happens all the time.
Yeah, that's this existence.
You know, they always say stranger than fiction because I'm telling you, you go dig deep and we are wacky. We wacky.
Come on.
Just straight.
Yeah. Come on. And where's fiction pulled from? The real things.
The brain.
Yeah.
I believe cocaine.
Yeah,
and
if
I'm not mistaken, where fiction comes from cocaine.
And for some, however it gets to you. However it gets to you.
What do you wish you knew?
What do you wish you knew?
What do you wish you knew?
Ooh.
Why they didn't let the dogs out before they left.
What do I wish that I knew? Oh, yeah. I wish that I knew. I have to be honest. I wish that I knew how things were in what we call, like, quote-unquote, ancient times.
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe that we're not at the height of intelligence. We're not at the height of civilization. We're not as advanced as we've ever been.
We're like middle schoolers relative to
Yeah, I think we're in a lower
I can look out and
space.
look at for me, it's I look out at a playground.
Yeah.
I can see the bratty rich kid that thought he should be respected because of his dad.
Yeah.
I can see the guy
playground.
that looks like Winnie the Pooh that acted like he knew everything, and so he should be in charge. I can see that one kid that was abused, you know, his whole life, backed into a corner, starting weird wars. But it looks, for me, we're at a point where, are we going to decide to act mature as a species? My argument is, the kids are who's running the place. Those of us paying attention have been working at trying to be good people, raise our children. We've had a different focus. Well, the problem is, what that means is the only people who end up in charge are the people who are obsessed by gaining the power.
Correct.
That doesn't go well.
Correct.
You know, that the reason we have, you know, smog like piles of gold is because everybody is born with a fear that it might go away. Everybody on our planet lives with the constant fear, no matter how well off you are, that suddenly it could all be taken away.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And that's why you end up with guys with piles of gold. Because, well, how am I going to put my offspring for generations? Because you're worried about what will happen.
You're so afraid of losing it that you keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
If everybody has what they need, doesn't that fall apart?
Absolutely.
Not that I don't blame anybody. It's evolution. We're moving along.
Yep.
We're at the part where we've realized we're not just physical.
But see, and so that connects back to like what I was saying about wanting to see what we consider the ancient, because you're right. The physical is like a very, I don't want to demean it, but it is one element of many other elements that could be argued that might be like a lot more powerful.
It's a saucy little bag of juice. I mean, is what it is, because you're dealing with microcosm on top of microcosm.
Yes.
But then in the end, when you go, can you trick yourself?
Yeah. You feel me?
Who did that?
Right. And the fact that we're like, again, it's really interesting because, you know, life and our existence like goes in cycles. It does feel right now that we're realizing that we're more than physical. There's something about quantum that's really interesting. It's a wave. It's not. It's something can be in two places. It might be, you know, spiritual as well. But the funniest thing is that that's not new information. Right. There was a very concerted effort to make it
coming
seem,
together.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know that it was a concerted effort. No, I think it's we gain understanding as we go. I don't have a problem with back there.
Yeah.
How many...
I do though.
No, okay. So I have a question.
Okay.
Has the Dalai Lama changed the world?
Has
his compassionate outlook that's become more public, and if China doesn't throw him out of Tibet,
right?
Does compassion enter the world in the same way? If there's no these are no justifications.
I'm hearing
it's
you.
not a,
I'm
it's
hearing
not,
you.
Doesn't validate that.
Yeah.
So if there's no Vietnam War,
does
Thich Nhat Hanh sit down with MLK and discuss how people of different colors being sent over to kill each other is bullshit.
Yeah.
And then makes a huge change in.
Yeah.
Thich Nhat Hanh starts Plum Village.
I'm hearing you.
So next, would you know everything Martin Luther said
Yeah.
if he hadn't been killed?
So let me, and
Or
this is
Malcolm.
my response. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, no, I hear you. No, I'm interested.
Facts. I think that, funny enough, you would. It just wouldn't have been Martin Luther King or Malcolm X.
It would have
wouldn't
been
have been
it might have been somebody
it would have
else's
been some
voice.
other
Somebody
way.
else, right.
The
Something.
Ooh, I
the
like
wave
that.
is coming.
Yeah, okay,
You
I
feel
got
me?
you. No, I
The
feel
wave
that.
is
Can't
coming.
stop.
You might
But
be at
these
this
are the
part.
pieces
You
that
might
I've
be at
been
that part.
asking about. Like,
And-
you go,
and the-
how
but
do
it's-
you...
But it's beautiful because those pieces again point to the beauty of the wave itself. It's not this current, and that's why
Right.
I do want to scrutinize the way this has happened or that has happened, because my honor is not to the way my honor is not to the tool itself.
Right.
It's to the designer of the tool, or to the overall
the
story
divinity
arc.
of it all.
You get what I'm saying?
I get that.
What's
No, I
going on?
totally
in the
relate to
universe,
that.
yeah.
And I think that in a tough way, we sometimes we can get attached to those methods and think that that's how we see ourselves as being separate from Dr. King or separate from Dalai Lama. Like, wow, you were so
Exactly.
amazing. You came and did these, and it could
We
have
just-
only happened through you. It would have happened anyway. God is present. God is going to happen and
Yeah.
manifest always.
The things come
Let's
through.
honor that. It will come through and still honor the vessel. I'm thankful. But to understand there's an ultimate, and that allows you to know that you can manifest that as well.
Well, I think you got to believe it's something bigger than you.
We would.
Yeah,
It
you have
doesn't-
to acknowledge it.
You got to... There's a... Damn, he steps on his cord. There's a... You have to... I gave up having words for it.
Facts.
Because now, and I use whoever I'm with, I use the words they're comfortable with. I don't have an argument about divinity or universe or Buddha. Or my mom came to me once and told me she was, maybe she was thinking about being Buddhist now.
Mm-hmm.
That she'd done enough meditation that she finally like, what, maybe I am Buddhist.
Word.
And I said, Mom, are you part of the universe? And she's
Mm.
like, well, yeah. I said, you're Buddhist. It really doesn't mean anything, but you're here.
Mm.
It's not that one's a self-help group.
A fact.
If you go read it, don't get me wrong, then every religion gets so deep in the weeds once other people take over. My mom's big joke, our big joke, is that what went wrong with Christ was Buddha stayed around long enough to slap people's hands.
Mm.
When they got
Christ
it wrong,
was
yeah.
taken too early.
Mm.
Huh?
He lived long enough to smack people's hands when they got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was
So
Christ was gone and then Paul takes over.
Christ did
Come
some
on.
correcting while he was here. Like
sure.
he would
Paul
go
is Don
around
King in my
correcting.
head.
I'm hearing you. I
I've
was
always
having a
felt
conversation
Don
about that.
King. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. You feel me? Yes.
There's Benjamin Franklin had a version of the Bible that took out all of the miracles and everything else but the
Word.
teaching. The rest of it
Word.
is like unnecessary.
Yeah, I heard about that. There's still a group that follows that mad close.
Well, I don't believe
tries
everything is right from one source or wrong from one
Yeah,
source.
most definitely.
The concept that somehow it came through a human lens.
That means that there's some
Perfect?
truth in it.
No, there's some point of view. Perspective. No matter what you do, your perspective's in everything.
Absolutely. It defines everything.
So if you want to start a religion, if you can get your family together and keep
Yep.
track of who old,
Right.
for you got to go about 12,000 years. 1200, excuse me.
1200.
For the who old, and make up some good stories about moving places.
Come on.
You got to have and then we were on the road and we got
Come on.
lost for 40
Yeah.
years.
Come on.
And this,
I'm hearing you.
and then you get some teachings.
Yeah, I'm hearing
But
you.
if you look back, all of those teachings, I find, for me, a little bit less attached. I find, for instance, the Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, eventually you got to kick the kids out. They think they know too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story about raising kids.
Come on. Come on.
Or you get to, how does the Middle East look like it does when all three of the faiths
That
involved
part. Yeah.
literally have a story about, I didn't recognize it was my brother.
They're
and then
called the Abrahamic religions because he's in all three books. It all came from the same place. It's crazy how that works.
In the world of ruthless family, they're all like, we're going to fight over this land because it's ours. Yeah, you guys are literally brothers. What's up, yo?
Facts.
My big thing, I'm going to fix Israel real quick. You don't mind, do you? Okay, so my whole theory on Israel is if you could get the Swiss Guard, that's who does all of the protection in Rome.
I'm hit.
Okay, so what we need to do is the first move when they like announced that Jerusalem was going to be, Israel's. Anyways, they should have done the same thing. Every other country should have said the same thing about Palestine and Israel.
So they should have said both of them are countries.
That Jerusalem is the capital of both places.
Oh,
so you make it the
so
center
you make
of government and all of the greatest learning about these three faiths run by the Swiss Guard in the middle. And then the Palestinians and the Israelis get to do their thing, but they have a Congress. Eventually the lines are going to blur anyways. Once you take down the walls. But the trick is the three kids need to come, and the third one is love, funny enough. You know what? Okay, put some love in the middle. And but the idea that they're throwing firecrackers at each other on the mount, and I'm not even attached, screws with my energy somehow. So
it should.
It
should.
Solomon
out
was
of
the
balance.
dude, man. He came up like. Okay, so then there's this other story. Which mom gets the kid if they both want to cut it in half?
Neither.
Israel? Palestine much?
Shouldn't be neither, because y'all want to cut the kid in half. Why are y'all trying to do this?
Is you make it this beautiful place for learning, which is what it should be. I'd love to go to the mountain. I would love to go see the Holy Lands. Not because I'm I've been to Thailand and gone through beautiful Buddhist shrines, and you feel it. And I guarantee it's the same.
The interesting thing, like thinking about that, it makes me think about how like Israel and Palestine are in the same way that the physical is just only an element of this picture. Israel and Palestine, as identified, are only two elements of what made that picture itself. We're not talking about how Britain and Germany, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
But because of that, I'm saying that's an opportunity for us to do the reflection. Like, dang, if any situation is this extreme,
everybody had their hands in the pot, and it
so
got
what do
jumbled
we,
up.
What
do we need to do about ourselves?
You're basically building the Warsaw Ghetto inside
You feel
Israel.
what I'm saying?
My argument lately has been the point at which it always goes wrong is when somebody says at any cost. Because at that point you leave logic behind on the basis of where I'm going is more important than what I do in between. That's not how life works.
It's facts.
A, you're going to screw it up because you're not paying attention to what's going on. B, screw that. That's not how life works.
It's facts. That's facts. And the unwillingness to do the number one task, the main task, which is to love others as yourself, it's tough because like cliches are made to seem corny. But this, like, dang, this is actually the only answer.
Can I tell you where it went wrong? Can I tell you why it is that it doesn't sink in and everybody fights it? All you have to really do is learn to love yourself and be present.
Come on.
If you get to know yourself, you'll get to know everybody else.
Facts, and you will love everybody else very deeply.
The masks have got to come off.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
It's the thing that I learned in therapeutic groups. Was that we were all describing the same things from different angles, and we were not alone. That look around the world. The children are suffering from anxiety, worried about how they will be judged, controlling their. You want to know what's ripping at all of us? We're fake.
Facts.
We're all trying to live up to a Facebook life.
Facts.
And that shit's not even real.
Facts.
You want to be a Kardashian? Have you ever seen how ugly they were when they were younger?
Facts.
Do you have enough money for that kind of plastic surgery? Or why are you comparing yourself to fake?
That's tough. And
not that I have anything against them.
I'm hearing you.
You know what I mean? It's not a... But... So, if you grow up in a world where you have trainers and they make you... You know what I mean? There's going to be a difference in how you look based on your just... It's ridiculous.
Yes. That's why travel, I feel like, is critical. And like you were saying, when you got to understand other people's perspectives, it's like so critical. But there are a whole really the majority of people that exist in the world whose perspectives are not really acknowledged, because when we talk about like that anxiety that consumes us, when we talk about like the trauma that we experience, like the heavy fear and all that, it's like really Western. Like that is a symptom of this specific, like, American or
interesting.
European society.
No, I will say this.
Mm.
Have you seen the suicide rate in Asia amongst young girls?
Yeah, exactly. And now it's, again, the internet is allowing more of these
that was
elements
also
to,
based around. I don't want to say it's just westernized. I do say we deal with it differently. My goal, and it was funny. We were in a meeting the other day, or a playcast, where what we were talking about was mental health reform, and I'm losing thoughts left and right.
We were talking about mental health reform, and basically, some of the things we was talking about was how we all can relate to it, or the ones that feel like they can't are in denial about it.
The reality is, we don't center off physical health.
Right.
Do you have a physical health illness?
Right. Right.
How's your physical health? We are so associated with physicality and what we can see. It's also how we judge most people.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that we need the question was, how are you associated with mental health?
Yeah.
Do you get in there? There's already
a
Facts.
There's already how did you end up in that bad situation?
Yeah, that's facts.
I'm pretty sure if you have mental, you have mental health.
Come on.
That
think about
for the cut,
it,
right? And here's what blew me away. Do you know that they actually have tools for how to deal with grief and all that stuff, so you feel better and it's not a big deal? And we don't teach that in school.
Correct.
You know that there's endless. You're like, oh, grief is real. It's a part of your life. It doesn't mean just people dying. Learning how to deal with loss is an important tool.
Correct. And it's also, to a sense, I don't want to say innate, but it's more without the distractions and without, again, the redirections, without like the specific intention for us to disconnect from ourselves. Our option is to connect with ourselves, acknowledge ourselves. And if we were doing that, there's not even a conversation about the separation between physical and mental. There is no separation.
Right.
And then there's also emotional and spiritual and social. That's all the self. But to segment those things, again, makes it so much harder to deal with the reality that's already difficult.
Watch a kid stub their toe.
Yeah.
Watch them go to mom, get a baby.
Yeah.
They know already.
Yeah, for sure.
2 or 3 years old, I got a little cut.
For sure.
Let me go get a
But when they're sad, what do?
Right.
Oh, hide in the corner. That's right. That's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
From the beginning.
I'm telling you.
I've done this with a 9-year-old. There's 10 questions.
Yeah.
These are all questions that have been on our minds our entire life.
Facts.
He works. He's got a way. He's driven.
Right.
Hell yeah, he plays.
Right.
And you know what? Of course he prays. He's got a relationship with the universe.
For sure.
It doesn't matter what words you use.
For sure.
Or how you describe or define. It's okay. How do you find your center and your place?
Correct.
Wow.
That's good.
Did we get all the questions?
Why are you here?
Oh.
It's tough because it's actually really not that complicated. I'm trying to think of a deep thing.
That's the
I'm
beauty
here
of
to
those.
just.
Okay, I will admit that people have told us, because they were invited.
Right.
They have told us.
Because a long time ago, my parents got together.
Right,
and,
right.
And the best part was we stopped them before it went graphic. Not that it was ever really going to go.
Facts,
it was never going to go graphic.
Yeah, exactly.
But you knew to come in at that moment. So like,
Exactly.
I'm hearing you.
So exactly why are you named Chevy?
Right,
well,
right.
Well, what happened was
No,
there was
I'm
a car,
here
there was a chase.
To fully experience it, and to not resist. To fully experience myself, and then in turn, like my environment and the people I interact with. I know that ultimately that will end up in help. You know what I'm saying? What we consider help, or like making things better than they were before, but without like the positive and negative charges, without like the responsibility. I know that why I'm here, like whoever I am, whatever,
right.
You feel me,
right.
is here to fully experience it. Like I know that being here is extremely important. It's not something that is again, just like speaking in how I understand and perceive. It's not something that is insignificant. It's something that's very important, coveted, some might say, to be here. And so I'm here to fully experience. And then the things that come from that full experience will be like, what do you want to do here? Or how do you see? But I think that why I'm here, the reason I've been placed here is to really fully experience it. And that's, again, enough of a challenge on its own.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. And that's also, you feel me, why I'm here. Yeah.
It's the potential. That I've for me, it's feeling like if I'm paying attention, there was so much going on, so much opportunity that I never saw.
That's a fact.
That goofy stuff like the story about buying the TVs. It's like you just happen to be in the moment, second click, and you were in the right place
at the right time
to get done what you needed done. Oddly, now, and it's been that way for us all along. We were talking about our feeling of the quickening. The board we paid $105 for. $300 or $400 used would be normal, but there was a pastor out on the west side, and I happened to look that day in the. I scanned the Craigslist for stuff that's a good price. So I got so many amps too. But I went out, and it's 20 channel board, and it changed our outlook on what we were doing.
Serious.
We had a traditional Scarlett 2-pop.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
It's still part of the mix.
Yeah.
We've since a beautiful friend sent us mics and headphones.
That's so dope.
He's like, you know what? I was doing this thing, but now
that's so dope.
God, he's a part of who we are.
Of course.
And the thing is, you're a part of who we are.
Of course.
Because you come when you bring that energy and you get to feel it, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It changes the world. As I was watching the beginning of 3 Days of Peace and Love, the original Woodstock movie, I get it now.
You feel me?
I get it. I'm telling you, man, Livestock is coming. Live Aid meets Woodstock.
Ooh.
Livestock.
Right.
Ooh.
Right.
3 days of free range peace and love.
Word.
Free range like the chickens
I'm
we're gonna get off the ranch. It's the closest thing I can get to an Animal Farm joke without shoving it in their face.
That is clever. Global. And hilarious.
And we gotta have enough pressure.
Yeah.
That even the countries that don't want to have to give in because it'll make them look worse if they don't do it.
That's why.
Like Live Aid was.
I'm hearing you.
You see what I'm saying? Just saying.
I'm staying tuned.
The weirdest thing was
you might be onto something.
I threw it on the other day and I was about.
Threw on 10 minutes of Woodstock.
15.
Word.
Yeah.
And I got what I needed. It was, I forget his name, the guy that did Woodstock. And he's sitting there with that look in his eyes that I know so well that I feel going, they're telling him, what are we going to do? There's going to be no money. The fences are coming down. He just goes, it doesn't matter. It's happening. It happens. It's happening. No, it's that he knew this was where it didn't matter. What mattered,
you see,
was the energy and the peace.
Yes.
Because you watch those old farts in that town all around there that you expect to act one way. The energy's too much.
I'm telling you.
The love is that or the study in D.C. where they brought together, what was it, 1,000 people meditating?
I think it was New York. They brought together 1,000 people in
it was Baltimore.
Was it Baltimore?
It was Baltimore.
Okay.
Word.
And they predicted that this is how much the crime rate will drop during this period of time. They tested on smaller things first. Is that scientific outlook? Yeah, it works.
Word.
So what if you get only about 2 billion of the planet?
You get that together and you
feel me?
I remember Live Aid. I'm telling
calm.
you could feel it. You could feel it globally.
For sure. For sure.
It's because at one moment, all of these people are watching the same thing. There are a million different senses or feelings you can share with somebody if you describe them well enough.
Yeah.
Everything from the, oh my God, I have to poop so bad, to staring at the stars.
Facts.
And I can take you on a journey that'll make you feel either one.
Facts.
And in that moment, everybody is together and empathizing about how bad it feels when you need to poop.
I thought about it.
I think we're going to have to get back.
Oh, man.
You got anything you want to plug real quick?
Oh, yeah,
before we get off the live?
I get so lost in it. Is there anything you want to tell anybody about?
To just enjoy yourself, to relax, to know that you're not the only person, And man, gratitude is the key. Peace.
Yep. Peace.
Have
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Be nice, bro. It's not worth it. It's too heavy to be mean. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We went long. We're like an hour and 15 in, man. It was beautiful.
It's supposed to be what it's supposed to be.
No, it was beautiful. It was,
I'm thankful, man. That was dope. 10 questions. That was fire.
Isn't it amazing?
Yes. That
And
was
here's the
fire.
weird
That was
thing.
mad fun as well.
And they moved around because of the way they looked aesthetically when I put them up on something. And that's how they ended up in the perfect order. That's really my outlook. That originally I